They are going to force you onto Internet 2 by not updating the hubs and the grids on what is Internet 1. And they're going to take those grids and start cannibalizing that into Internet 2 that's already been built all over the Western world, into South Korea, into China, into Japan, into Russia. Okay? You can go online and see maps of Internet 2. It just gets bigger and bigger by the day, and they use taxpayer money to do this. They then give the infrastructure to these companies. And we pay for all of this with our ISP money and with our taxes, both the private and the corporate interest. And there's a lot of other ways that they're doing that. But in case there's any denials, 40 gigabytes for $55 per month Time Warner bandwidth caps arrive. And, of course, they've already tested this in the last year and a half with Comcast. This is where you pay for your bandwidth connection. You pay for your T1 or you pay for your DSL or your cable modem or whatever system you're using. You're paying for the bandwidth. Then whoever you're streaming from has to pay for the bandwidth themselves. I have 2 CDNs and 7 other servers on top of 2 content distribution networks, 4 InfoWars and PrisonPlanet.tv. So I'm paying so that you can access it and see the text and watch the videos and hear the audio, and our millions of people that listen on our podcast, the millions that listen on the internet, on the radio, and on the AM and FM. We're paying for the satellites to deliver that to the stations. So understand, we pay. The people that run websites pay for the bandwidth. We pay for it all. Then you pay for the connection to get to us. The telecoms are saying, no, we're also going to charge you when you come to Infowars.com and you pull off of my servers and you're paying for the connection to get to my servers. They're being paid, and exorbitantly, one of the only profit centers left in the country. And then I'm paying to give you the data. They say, no, you're not just going to pay for your connection. Alex isn't just going to pay for the servers that he provides to you to come to his websites. Now we're going to charge you for the amount that we meter that you are pulling down off of his site and streaming to your computer or to your iPhone or to your MP3 player or whatever device you're getting media from. This is all mainstream news. This is news out of China. 40 gigabytes for $55 a month. The Time Warner bandwidth cap arrives. But I don't even need to read this article. I live in Texas. It says Time Warner will launch a trial program in Texas which imposes monthly internet consumption caps on subscribers in Beaumont, Texas, following a 2-month grace period. Cable users will pay $1 extra each for additional gigabyte consumed beyond the cap. See? And this is just one sector of their control system, not just governmental taxes and email stamps. You buy a group stamp. No. Now they're adding all of this, and they're hijacking the major corridors and the hubs. That's known as, only one facet of that is net neutrality, where instead of just not upgrading the hubs and making you go to Internet 2, they will just refuse to communicate with each other peer-to-peer and start blocking off and breaking up the web. Again, killing the web. That is what's happening right now. I've got another article here out of iPower. ISPs confirmed 2012, the year the Internet ends. But you heard them reporting it's already really ending. Comcast is already controlling how much bandwidth you can get, where you can go, what you can do. I remember 2 years ago, big ISP started announcing, AOL-controlled systems started announcing, and others, that they would let you go to sites that they had agreements with, big sites, big establishment sites. They would let you have free access, but they would give you tier 2 for millions of other alternative websites that weren't part of their agreements. They've also been writing and selling for a decade or more software you put on your computer or you download, put it on by disk or download, where, quote, they restrict hateful sites or gambling sites or hacking sites or porn sites. And then that has a database that blocks hundreds of thousands of keywords and different combinations. So that's another form of censorship. See, it's a huge cocktail. Hundreds of different systems they're using. ISPs confirmed 2012, the year the Internet ends. Bell Canada and TELUS with Verizon employees officially confirmed the 2012's ISP all over the globe will reduce Internet access and a TV-like subscription model, only offering access to a small standard amount of commercial sites, a few hundred. You understand? This is not a rumor. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is happening now. You got to tell everybody this is not a conspiracy theory. Internet 2 said in 2001 they are going to take the internet as you know it away and rape the hell out of you financially. We can't even get the public to admit that they're trying to tax the web when states are already doing it, other governments are already doing it, governments are pushing ISPs to put filtering in like China has, universities, corporations already block out Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Another facet of Internet 2 is that once you're forced over to it, it'll be like MySpace, YouTube, where you'll have your own channel. And they say this in Internet 2, this big consortium of them meeting and deciding how to build it and set it up. I learned about it 6 years ago, but they've been meeting for 10 years plus, actually 12. They say that you'll sign a contract with them. They'll own your intellectual property, just like YouTube. Everybody else says we have a subpage, they own it. Whatever you post, they say they have rights to. You will have no free speech. They will own your material. They can shut you down, suspend you at will, and they say, oh, well, it's private. It's like you can't protest in a mall. They say it's private property. They control what you say. They control what you do. So the new web will be 100 domains. This is what they said in 2001. They're debating this now. And that you will have a sub-site on 100 domains. There will be institutional, and there will be private. But it will all be regulated by the government, controlled by the corporations, and 50 universities/institutions. This is the new web. Why are they doing this? Newspaper circulation down the last 15 years by 60+%. It's about 65 now. TV ratings, even on cable, down. First cable killed TV. Broadcast TV, now cable's being killed by this. They cannot compete. I want to bring Jason Burmis in here, and Jason is a huge tech guy, a lot more technical than I am. Of course, Loose Change fame, making a new film here with us, working with us the next few months in the office, then filling in some on the show. We got about 3 or 4 minutes before break, Jason, but I want you, for listeners out there, to explain to them that it's not just net neutrality, it's not just taxation, it's not just bandwidth caps. It is not building, not maintaining the old hub, forcing you on. That's their number one goal, and that's the part nobody's talking about. This isn't just net neutrality where the different groups don't communicate with each other anymore. And you buy subscriptions for fractions of the web. And it kills that incredible, connectivity and that huge community. The key to all of this is they are going to shut down the old web. Jason Burmis.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when I read that they're actually beta testing this right now, not only in America, but in Texas, in Beaumont, Texas. And how it works, folks, is this. They're not only going to limit the amount that you can download, but they're also going to limit the speed at which you can download it. So for 5 gigabytes a month, they want to charge you $30, and it's at a reduced rate. It's like a DSL line. Now, they know that they could give you more, but they want to limit you. And then if you go over this 5 gigabytes, well, then you're in the next price range. You're at 40 gigabytes, and that's, instead of $30, it's $45. Now, here's where it gets really tricky. Once you go over that 40 gigabyte limit, which is nothing, folks, let me clue you in. If you watch a movie on Google Video, okay, something that's a little over an hour long, that's 1 gigabyte. You surf the web for a couple days, that's another gigabyte. If you're one of the people like me who likes to share movies on file share networks, likes to upload things to FTP sites to other people, does it for work, we're talking about $1 each gigabyte. So say I'm working on a project with Alex Jones, and I have to send uncompressed video to Alex. Well, that uncompressed video could be anywhere from 10 to 20 gigabytes itself, so I'm going to be charged another $10 to $20 just for that day. And you're talking about bills that could be in the hundreds, if not thousands, in private businesses.
Now, let me explain what they do. They built our society sprawling, whether you love it or hate it, where we have to have fuel, where our cities are built out, unless you're talking about Boston or New York. You've got to have fuel to get to work. They control that. Their own documents come out. They jack up the oil prices and squeeze us. The government builds the web. They design it. We pay to build the grid with our internet fees, with our connection fees, with our server fees. And then they just take it all away. Jason.
Absolutely. It's supply and demand. If they have the only supply, they can demand whatever they like. And that's what we're seeing. And one of the things that you didn't...
And the crime is killing the old web.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, let me explain how it works. You have an IP address on your computer. Everybody who goes on your computer logs in through that IP address. In the future, in Internet 2, you're going to have a biometric thumb scan on your keyboard.
And they say this.
Yes, and
this is not a conspiracy theory.
No, this is what we're being trained for right now. Some of the new laptops have it, and you can't get on your laptop unless it's your thumbprint. So now, your household, your kids, your wife...
Stay there.
Yeah, so this thumb scan, in other words, so it won't be just one IP address, Alex. It'll be your biometric thumbprint from that IP address. So instead of saying, all right, the Johnson family is on the internet today or joined this website, it's going to be Bobby Johnson or Kenny Johnson or Sally Johnson, whoever scans their little thumb, and that'll be their little profile. So you know, someone comes in and says, you visited this website, you can say, well, I don't know if it was me, it might have been my wife, I have other people on the net, I have friends, they come over and use the internet. Now they're going to know that you are the one on the net.
And this is guilty until proven innocent.
It's total thievery, and what people have to understand is about 10% of the people out there use about 90% of the bandwidth. Grandma isn't using this bandwidth. You know, she's still going to pay $30 a month or $45 a month, whether she uses 5 gigs or not.
But by the nature of the web with this internet too, they're talking about it using 5, 6, 10, 20, 100 times the bandwidth, and so you have to understand that we're talking about prices that no one's going to be able to pay.
Yeah, so now they're going to try to restrict that signal. They're going to restrict the content you can have, and I'll be very doubtful if anyone will carry Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or any of the sites that are really putting it out there. And I wouldn't even be surprised that when you post something, they'll have a screener that will go through it. And
No. I was at 2 hotels this last week, and both hotel internet said you're going to a website that doesn't have a proper security certificate, which these weren't secure sites. There's no reason for that. Are you sure you want to go to this dangerous website?